welcome to Gary's Roundtable. We'll talk about everything imaginable, some things that aren't. Brace yourself. Welcome to Gary's Roundtable, Season 1, Episode 6. My guests today were Cale Warner and Cierra Warner, and we had a great conversation. It started off talking about a global pandemic or super virus, something of that nature, being a possible cause of the end of humanity. Went down a few rabbit holes and ended up all over the place. So everything from human genetic modification, human cloning, all kinds of crazy fun stuff. So give it a listen. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much. Hello and welcome to Season 1, Episode 6 of Gary's Roundtable. This will be the Return of the Jedi episode, I guess, Episode 6. And I guess that makes my first special guest, Cale Warner, the Jedi. Welcome
Is that
back.
me?
Welcome
All right,
back.
I like that.
And we're joined by Cierra Warner as well. That is Cale's lovely bride.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Oh man, it's
Are we the only two guests today?
Yep. I had kind of somebody
You
want
guys
radio
hear me
song.
drink water?
No, you're okay.
Sorry.
I'm sipping on coffee too, but I'd have been here sooner, but I was like eating some French toast sticks and I didn't want to be like eating on the mic,
didn't mean to
trying to
interrupt.
talk and you hear just, I just didn't want to do that.
So, but now you've reproduced it for us.
That's
so,
it, right?
I appreciate that, as will the listeners. It's like ASMR for people that
No kidding.
you want to get that live restaurant feel, even though.
No, that's it. During the times of COVID, when you can't go to a live restaurant, just listen to the podcast.
Right. Listen to people pretending to chew food. Everyone loves it. It's always fun. All right.
Which
Well,
is
that
brilliant. I
actually
mean, this is
works,
great,
though.
Gary, because this
Yeah,
brings
so,
us
like-
right around to our subject.
It really does. It's we're going to be talking about the possible end of the world, destruction of humanity via loud chewing. No, it's like viral pandemic or disease, something of that nature, and it's in the current climate. It's not all that hard to get into the right mind frame to think about,
No kidding.
talk about this.
I got to tell you, the first time I was on, I did actually quite a bit of research into artificial intelligence just so I could actually pretend to sound interesting,
Right.
But for this one, I thought about, do it. I do. Why bother? I mean, in this day and age, we are all experts on global pandemics. You just can't live through this and not become an expert and educated on everything.
Yeah, we already did the research over the last
last
year.
I was gonna say.
and trying not to die.
Exactly.
I guess we didn't all do the research.
Well, I think everybody did. I think some people choose to believe it, but this is a difficult subject for me because
No,
it is so.
I don't think you could have lived through this experience and not have a better understanding. at this
A better
point.
understanding, but there's still
really.
denial, is what I'm saying, and that's what when you announced this subject to me, Gary, I was like, oh God, how do I do this without getting too political or alienating too many people? This is such a touchstone subject. You know what I mean?
I don't care if it does alienate people, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I don't think, based on my social media history,
Yeah.
I don't really think this is pretty mild. And if I come out and call, anti-maskers and, COVID deniers morons, that's not going to come as a surprise to anybody.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, it's your podcast, so if you lose listeners, hey, what do I care?
Right. What do you care? Specifically based on an episode you were on.
Yeah, this is going out to dozens of people right now. So
Well, maybe even more.
really,
Be like 13, 14.
hey, all right.
It's growing. Oh, that's not true. But yeah. So I don't know. I did a little bit of research into this, and we have I don't know, pretty regularly. It seems like every couple hundred years, some kind of, you know, crazy virus, bacteria, something gets out there and really wreaks some havoc with humanity.
Yeah.
Um, Now I don't personally. I don't think it's necessarily a total. I don't think it's necessarily going to wipe out humanity, but I think it could wipe out a significant chunk. I think our immune systems are pretty resilient, so I'm not really. But
Yeah, you could make the argument too that our immune systems are pretty resilient, but not so much these days with the the proliferation of antibiotics and sanitizers, and we live in a such more what I mean. You think about our ancestors, man, they would walk along the tundra, see a deer that's been dead for a week and say, yeah, I can eat that.
right,
Now we can't. It would kill us, dude.
right. It's like we used to be like dogs. Dog will go find a delicious meal in the cat litter box,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I just cut that part out. It's fine. It's
right,
okay.
right, he's fine. He's okay. He's chunks of rocks and cat feces, and no worries, no worries. But yeah, we don't have that now. I think we've now I don't want to. I don't want to live in a time where I have to worry about eating an overabundance of fecal matter, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think we were, yeah, our bodies were more. I don't even know if our bodies were more capable of it, or only the ones that survived
That could be.
more capable of it. Because what was the average life expectancy up until like a few hundred years ago? Was
Yeah,
600
if
years.
you were 30, you were an old man.
Yeah, we'd all be like miracles of nature,
Exactly.
Yeah.
45.
I was telling Cale earlier that with almost every, like particularly bacterial infections, our immunities are all just at varying degrees. So something that one person can be exposed to can be completely harmless. Well, something to somebody else could strike up, a massive infection.
Right.
It's just
We've even seen that with COVID. I mean, there's some people that, you know, don't even know they have it and they get a sniffle or something. And then there's,
right.
the other extreme where you got, you know, people
I,
dying,
Yeah.
it's
I'm willing to bet more children have had it than we realize and carry it.
oh, I'm sure of that. The problem is, as like we talked about before about leprosy, it'd be kind of nice if it was just that obvious that somebody had it, so then you knew to stay away from them, you know.
Yeah, there
I
you
mean,
go.
it would suck if you got it, though.
Yeah, it would suck if
That
you
would
got
be
it,
way worse.
but it'd be
I
tough
mean,
to
no,
be tough to deny it, you know. Like, no, it's not even a real thing. It's a government conspiracy.
Yeah,
Bill
it's fake. It's all fake news.
Bill Gates is
the next COVID symptom is blisters. Like, ew.
Oh yeah, and limbs falling
Awful.
off.
that would definitely suck to get it, but as a person that doesn't have it, it'd be a lot easier to avoid.
Yeah,
Yeah, and leprosy too. That
true.
wasn't that it was really only through contact. So I mean, if you
Well,
just
you're
don't
still
touch the
contagious
person.
too for like the first 4 days before you would start showing, symptoms on the skin, I would think.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
You got to ruin
So
it, don't
then
you?
the next thing you know, it's your whole family's got it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate though.
See, you're ruining my leprosy revival.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you were feeling good about
I
leprosy,
know.
Gary.
I
Now
don't.
it's like, oh my God.
I almost don't even want it to make a comeback now. Thanks.
No, yeah.
With your negativity, anti-leprosy over here,
That's it. Cancel culture. That's it.
right?
Uh,
No,
You're racist against lepers.
that's
I
right.
think though we were talking earlier about COVID COVID and its effect, like basically the fatalities and whatnot. But I'm more worried about the social ramifications at this point. I think we'll survive as a species for sure. And I feel like we're almost at a point where science is evolving so quickly that we may not, a pandemic may slowly become quickly become something that we just don't need to worry about as much, you
I,
know?
right. I hope so. I know the problem is, yeah, the problem is the society part of it as much as anything. I mean, failure to listen to and respect, scientific expertise that's really reared its ugly head big time in the last year or so. Just seeing all these people, like, I don't know, just throwing caution to the wind. Like, I don't care. It's not gonna.
Yeah. But I mean, on the
Well, in
flip side
general,
too,
everybody's fighting, it seems like to me.
yeah.
There's just a lot of it going on.
On the flip
Everybody's
side
stressed
too,
out.
I look at the not only the people that are just, completely denying it and throwing caution to the wind is, as a culture, and I can say this from my own self too, is I think we're developing, and I had to look it up, enochlophobia, fear of crowds. You know what I mean? I can't, especially last summer when we were right in the heart of it, I couldn't even look at a picture of a crowd without getting some sort of base anxiety from it. It's like, what are those people doing? And this,
Well,
you think about this is a
yeah.
picture taken 20 years ago. Don't worry about it, Cale. They're fine. But
Right.
Like, wear their masks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like, why are they like, oh,
yeah, can't even watch TV now thinking.
And
I'm kind of used to it now, but I do remember in the beginning having that feeling.
well, and
That's weird.
I've always had that, like, this problem with crowds. Not that I guess it's relative, because I don't like if you get me in a crowded mall at Christmas time, I'm seriously borderline homicidal at that point. If I get stuck in the middle of a crowd and I can't get out, I will get out.
So you're actually thriving during this pandemic, aren't you?
There's like a shooting in a local mall and Gary's around.
Yeah.
Better watch out.
No, I would never shoot anybody. I have morals.
Yeah, but you got to get the heck out of there, right? Like,
Oh, no,
I do that at Walmart sometimes. Like, sometimes I've come in and like got a cart and been like, we got to go. I can't even today.
Yeah.
Like, it's just too much.
No, I just have my morals are more along the lines of a sense of fair play, where I might kill a bunch of people getting out, but it wouldn't be with a gun. I'd use my bare hands. I'd get in there.
No, at least they've got a fighting chance.
Right. I'd get in there.
That 3-year-old could have fought back.
That's
right.
Fair.
I'll get in there and earn it like my ancestors. That's not true. My ancestors.
Be like a gladiator pit.
Right. Are you not entertained?
Can you imagine how like scary that would be to see on the news? Like, legit, like somebody doing that. There'd be video of it, all kinds of video.
Just flip out and go Bruce Lee right in the middle of Christmas. I don't
care.
Then
we know we as a society are failing when we see that happen. It's not going to be good.
Are you saying the Romans failed? I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, kind of
that
the
was still organized, though. It was an organized event.
Melee, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's just that we should just monetize it.
It probably had a rating. It was like rated, R or whatever.
Right. Not for children.
Back then, children under 12.
TV 14.
You must be this tall to ride this ride.
Yeah, no. But it's really weird too, because I could go to a huge metal show, like a concert, and hang out, but those are my people,
Right.
I've never once felt threatened or worried or had any of that in the crowded, the biggest crowded concert venue. I don't know. I don't feel it there, but I'm more scared of, I guess, housewives with toddlers trying to get a great deal.
As well you should.
Right. Yeah. Big bearded, metal guitar players and stuff. Nah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Worried about that. A bunch of bikers, no worries.
Yeah. But don't you dare stand between an 80-year-old woman and her, half off 50-inch television, man.
Oh man. No, I straight up called an old lady an asshole loud in Walmart once. Just learn learn how to control your cart. Don't bump me with it. And don't do it twice. You get called an asshole. And I don't care who's around.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair at that point. don't even try it, Grandma. I will throw down. It's on.
Was she like coming at you or what?
No, I was this was actually like my wife talked me into going to try to get this particular video game for my son on Black Friday.
Oh, see, that's it right there.
But
yeah,
I wasn't out.
See it.
I wasn't out in the morning. I'm like, I don't care. I'll go maybe in the afternoon. I'm not going there in the morning because I don't want to go to jail.
It's not on my priority list.
But I'm just standing here looking at the video games, trying to find the right one, and this lady just tapped me with her cart. And so first I'm like, but then so I moved down a little bit, and I'm looking at the next section, and she did it again. I'm like, watch it, asshole. She got all verklempt. She got the vapors. You're gonna have 2 trick hips if you do that again, Granny. But, no.
Was she in one of those little go-kart thingies that they have, or was she actually walking?
No, she was
manually.
They do
not have go-karts in the store, Cale.
Whatever. Those I can't wait till I get to be 80 because I want to ride those carts around. They look like fun.
You can do it anyway.
Yeah, but then people look at you weird.
You just got a limp on the way in.
Yeah, I like that. I gotta buy a cane so I can carry it with me.
Right. But it is easier when you get old, because when you're old, you can be an asshole and then people just excuse it because you're old. Oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
You want to be homophobic and racist? As long as
unless they're bumping into you, Gary, because apparently you call them out. You're not going for that shit.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. But like you see all this, God, like some of the parents' generation and some of the things that they said, my parents and my wife's parents, like there's some seriously racist shit that they'd say, like flat out just say it, and I'm like, oh, they're old,
Yeah.
I guess it's just funny when old people do it. But it was a different time. It was a different culture. But yeah, I don't know. I was doing some reading up, and actually, like the bubonic plague or the Black Plague during the like in the medieval times, I guess. When was that? 1300s. That killed like somewhere between 75 million and 200 million people in Europe and Asia. That's pretty scary. And the Spanish flu too. I mean, there were some like, yeah, we've had plenty of very close calls with some pandemic situations.
How many have we lost so far to COVID? I don't even know.
3.5 million, I think. Let me see if I still got it.
But that is, Cierra, you looked this up just yesterday too. So I did lie when I said we didn't do any research. We did look up a couple of things, but like the Spanish flu, didn't that like kill like a third of the population that it came in contact with?
Yeah, something like that. No, infected. 1 in 3 infected. Yeah.
Oh, but still, that's
And I think like 50% more fatality rate or something. I'm just making that up, but I think it was like
the Spanish flu was like I don't know, somewhere between, depending on who you believe, 1 to 5.5% of the population died from the Spanish flu, and the bubonic plague killed between 30 and 60% of the European population.
Oh, that must be what I'm thinking of them. Yeah.
We were talking about a bunch of them, but the one we were focusing on was the Spanish flu. Is that one worse? I can't even say it. What is it? The bubonic
plague. The Black Death. That's like medieval times, medieval Europe. It was spread by rats, I believe.
It was fleas, actually.
Yes, the fleas on the rats.
There was a ton of, the rats were on the ships, and they had the fleas. So that's how.
Yeah, but this is understandable to me. The Spanish flu was in like the 1918 year is when it was. But this is back in the 1300s. I can imagine for sure how that
Oh
was.
yeah, they
They
didn't
don't
even know what
even
a
have, I
bacteria
mean,
was
they don't
back
even have
then.
antibiotics, so
Right.
yeah.
They believed it was all caused by the vapors.
This could have
Yes.
been, for all we know, COVID could have been really, really like way worse, I mean, for sure, I would think. What if
What?
we didn't even think to put masks on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and without any kind of
Yeah,
virologist
if
or
we just
whatever.
didn't even understand disease at all, it would just go, it would
Yeah,
spread like
even with all
wildfire.
the deniers saying fake news and I'm not going to do that, and by golly, I'm American, I'm not wearing no mask. You still, at least today, you still have the WHO, you still have the CDC telling at least the people that are listening, look, people, you really need to do this. And for the most part, people are doing it, and I think that's probably the biggest thing. Science has saved us from something that could have been much worse.
Where it saved us from a priest showing up and saying that it was witches or demons.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
Oh,
my God, he's dying. Let's give him an exorcism.
who did this to him? Who did this to him?
Exactly.
It's got to be that lady with the cats. That's the only explanation. She's got a wart. She turned me into a newt. Oh, sorry.
And even with this, though, I mean, the whispers of the conspiracy, not to get too right wing,
Don't
not
worry.
right wing, but not to get too out there in the woods, but conspiracy theorists and everything like that. As I wonder about, even with COVID or possibly the what could be the next pandemic actually being lab grown, even if it's by accident, you know what I mean? They've got, when you think about the advances in genetic technology, I watched a special a couple of years ago on Netflix that was, I can't remember what it was all called, but it was all about, basically genetic manipulation. And the scary thing is, they have this technology called CRISPR technology. You
Yep.
can buy that stuff off the shelf. It's relatively cheap. There are hillbillies out in their woods trying to make their dogs glow through genetic manipulation. That's how widespread it is. You know what I mean? You've got the Unabomber. He's out there making bombs in his shed, but then this guy's creating the next plague, and he's
Right.
doing it in his woodshed out back. That is what scares the heck out of me. If you're modifying and combining human DNA with swine DNA, well, guess what? You're just creating an environment that, of course, that virus is going to jump species. You know what I mean?
Right. And I don't know. I always
No,
think
isn't
of
it like it's mostly canines, isn't it, Cale? What? I'm trying to remember it.
Anything. They're talking about
frogs too. They were doing
frogs, mosquitoes. They're trying to use genetic manipulation to
they made a glow in the dark dog. That's what he was.
That's what he was
to
trying to do. I don't think he
He
ever
didn't do
succeeded,
it.
but he was
Yeah.
trying to create a glow in the dark dog by combining canine DNA with some sort of, I don't know if it was
One of those
jellyfish or
It was
something.
it was like a worm, wasn't it? Like an inchworm or something, or some glowing.
Yeah, it
worm.
was something that was bioluminescent. So he's trying to transfer that trait to the canine to make a
But of course
a
it
glow
doesn't
in the
work
dark
because
dog.
they're so far off. The animals are like, I don't even know if that's what it was.
But again, I don't know if I really want Billy Bob tinkering with that stuff. I mean, you know what I mean? No good can come from this.
No, I really think we should probably leave that shit to the hands of, geneticists.
Absolutely.
People with, 8 to 12 years of formal education, certifications, and, some legal requirements.
Yeah,
you got a complete secure lab situation where they're locked down tight and they have safety protocols and sterilization that takes place and all of that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I don't feel good about your security there.
The thing you got to worry about, though, is who's determining the line of what's acceptable and what's not. Right now, it's big companies and the government.
That's a good point.
That's it. So who's to say that they're going to make the right decisions? Well,
that's the whole point too. Is right now you're talking about something that is widely pretty much unregulated. There is no legal line that you're crossing.
What if you find out your government's just starting to clone full humans, like they're already working on organs? I don't think they can do it yet. I don't remember, but this is popular science. I don't even know how bad.
I believe they can. Yeah.
I think they can. So what if they want to produce a human for a soldier, right? Like this is a typical sci-fi scenario.
But that actually is
should
illegal.
Should we vote on it, you think? Should there be like a vote, I would think, or something? Or are they just going to do it on their own? Because I don't know that I would agree with that.
No, there is some governing body. I don't know who it is, whether it was the UN or somebody that flat out outlawed human cloning, period. It's illegal no matter what country you're in or what you do. Okay, that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, but
to what degree? If they're like, let's say they're starting to do organs, which we don't even remember if this is confirmed, but like let's say they do that, right? And then you have to have the other organs to sustain some other organs. You know what I mean? Kind of in a working system. So what if they start doing full bodies for organ harvest?
They're just making people with no brains.
I
Or,
don't,
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like that idea.
I don't.
I don't
See,
like,
I don't.
like, I'm not against human cloning per se. It all depends on the purpose of it, because I don't think that we should manufacture slaves, or, you know, um, basically a incubator for, um, organs that we may or may not need someday. I don't like that idea. If it's a human, I don't care if it's cloned or if it's made in a test tube or natural birth. It's entitled to human rights. And
should there be like guidelines? You know what I mean? Like, should people with, let's say, genetic disorders, um, things like
Oh
that, should they not
wow,
be allowed to be
yeah.
cloned? Would
Forced
you need, or
Darwinism.
would we win it like we do like the lottery, do a lottery for who can be cloned, or would everybody have access to it and everybody's just cloning themselves all the time or other people?
That's a good point, because how do you discriminate? If somebody does have a genetic disorder that you don't necessarily, as a race, you don't necessarily want to proliferate. You know what I mean?
well,
Yeah,
Again,
I
it's
mean,
Darwinism,
not like they're all bad or
but
anything, or those people are bad in any
how do you
way.
tell
You
somebody,
just
I'm
don't
sorry, I'm just,
necessarily want
you're
somebody
not,
else to have to
we
go
want
through
you to
that.
die off.
yeah, you don't have to. For as far as from my perspective, as like a proliferation of the species, um, natural selection sort of thing. That person in any other time other than we're living now would not be um, reproducing. You know what I mean? They would not have made it in a. And I'm not advocating for
Right.
um, eugenics or anything like that. I just but we have gotten to the point. I think this might be a large part of the problems that we have in society now is 200 years ago, if you were stupid, gullible, and believed anything you heard from any asshole, regardless of their intentions, you probably didn't last very long.
Yeah.
Um, and if you had any kind of serious physical or genetic disorder, you probably didn't last long enough to reproduce and pass that on. Um, which is one thing that I'm excited about with some of the genetic research is that they can eliminate some of the more genetic markers or whatever that cause those problems to carry on, without having to be you know brutal and say like, whoa, you should not be making kids, you know um, but that's
Yeah,
the other.
especially back in like caveman days, if you were born with a gimpy leg, due to a birth defect or something like that, chances are you just died. You couldn't survive because you couldn't hunt, you couldn't, actually take care of yourself. So, now we have social programs and all of that.
and that's
Not that
the
I'm saying that's a bad thing.
but
I'm not
that's
advocating forced Darwinism at all.
right.
So
That's the only way that we can do it with anything resembling human decency at this point.
exactly, you
Um,
can't.
we can't be like, oh, sorry, no food for you.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I think of like wild animals. It was something came up about windmills, I think, before, and like the birds that fly into the
Yeah.
windmill.
Yeah.
Like that bird wasn't going to make it anyway.
Right. If it can't get out of the way of a windmill that's moving at 3 miles an hour, I'm sorry.
Right. That guy, he would have definitely flown into traffic, if not for the windmill. It's but
But it's different when it's humans, I mean, and it is. You just can't separate that.
right, that's because we are humans, so we recognize it as a different
I
thing.
feel like humans fly into the blades a little differently. They kind of live self-destructive lifestyles and things like that, like a slow death.
Yeah, we're we've evolved into a slower destructive cycle, instead of
Which
flying into
unfortunately, again, defeats Darwinism, because you actually live long enough to pass on those genetic traits.
Yeah, and I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the like. There's a bit of an overpopulation problem probably bearing down on us very soon, and there's a part of me that wants to administer certain tests and you know say like, okay, no, you should not be reproducing. Um, but the other side is, we can't force sterilization on people just because they can't hit double digits on an IQ test.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's the thing is, nobody reproduces faster than dumb people.
Unfortunately, yeah.
The dumber you are, the more kids you have. It's just, and then you share with them your wisdom, and then they end up also voting. It's a vicious circle.
This is just a political agenda here, isn't it? So
yeah, that's right. It's all no.
I feel like this conversation has gone
what
down
if
a
it
very
does
dark
though?
road.
Again, who controls who gets to go and who not? Like they wouldn't just do a straight IQ test. It would be like a social
And who designs the
fluidity
tests?
test or something,
Right, and that's why I said there's
how well
part
do
of,
you work in society, and then if
that's
you don't, then you don't get to breed.
that's why I said there's part of me. There's a part of me.
That's the dark side. I don't know if you should go there.
No.
Shouldn't entertain that area.
Well,
That's so funny.
well, we've all seen that person or those people though.
Oh, and if you haven't, you totally have in the past year or whatever.
Right. Where you're like, like Jesus, how the hell this? Who made
nice
this?
to meet you.
Did you ever meet
have you
those?
Been there my whole life.
Right, we've all met those people, like that couple where you're like, oh my God, they're gonna have so many kids, it's gonna be a disaster.
Oh my gosh.
Go.
The ones like they shouldn't even be getting married. Like you're just like so confused.
Yeah, there is definitely, and as cold as it sounds, there is definitely an argument to be made. Is we have to have license to drive. We have to have licenses to basically do anything in this world. Maybe we should have to require a license and a program for reproduction.
Well, that's the thing is, this is the messed up thing is they can take away all of your kids because you're socially unfit to be a parent or abusive or whatever, but those protections don't extend to the kid you have next year after getting pregnant again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which I know they're like, well, it's inhumane to force any kind of sterilization on us, but like, isn't it kind of inhumane to keep letting this person make kids?
It's going to be inhumane if we let the world become overpopulated and our children's children have to live in it, so
right. Especially since intelligent people aren't having 19 kids and counting or whatever.
We're legit just going to have to do something like at some point.
Unfortunately, we run into the issues that, like anything, even if you try to, and any sort of the best, whatever legislation or rules that you make with the absolute best and purest intentions, somebody's going to abuse it. Somebody is going to figure out a way to work around it, or use it to their own personal gain. You know what I mean? No matter what, you're going to get that. You have, we're getting into, again, subject that I'm uncomfortable talking about publicly. You have welfare. Welfare is a very, very, at its base intent, it's a very pure and very good service, but there are people that simply
it's not
abuse
being
it.
Executed properly at all. That's my opinion. I do think it's an awesome idea.
Unfortunately, I don't care how well you execute it. There's going to be somebody who figures out a way to cheat the system. I don't care. You know, you got somebody who will not put an ounce of effort into actually finding a job. We'll spend hours in days trying to figure out a way around to cheat the system to, you know, to
Oh
continue
yeah.
not have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I totally understand. Well, at the same time, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is on that, but and if it's just this person, you know what I mean? If it's just this person, I cut them off, whatever. I don't care. But it's
Right.
never just this person. It's this person has kids. That's the thing with the when it comes to like the family stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and that individual might not care about providing for their family, but I don't, I don't want their kids to starve. And if it costs,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they don't always use the money responsibly either. You know what I mean? That's why definitely a big fan of like food only benefits and stuff. I don't know how I feel about cash benefits.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. It's a,
How do you feel about people having to show some employment for benefits or some sort of effort
it's,
for employment?
I don't,
Unless they're disabled, I believe in disability 100%.
I mean, I don't know. And again, it comes back to, look, here's the problem. When you got somebody with kids, like we get into, let's just say single parent, 2 or 3 kids, where are they going to go to work part-time and make, minimum wage or, whatever. And then they're going to pay $3 an hour per kid for daycare.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, that's the legit need. That's like somebody who legit needs it. That's why, like he's saying, he's there for the core idea of the system, and that would be a person I would have no problem supporting whatsoever.
That's
You know what I
where you
mean?
get into the morally
Oh,
ambiguous
I'm all
area is
about that.
for every rule you make, there has to be exceptions, and who defines those exceptions? You know what I mean? I can say, look,
right.
I want you to follow this step here, right here, but then one person will be like, I can't do that. And well, you know what? You got a point. Maybe we should do this. Every rule has an exceptions, and that's where you get into the morally gray area.
I
Is
have
who's controlling what is and is not an exception.
I have friends, making minimum wage and stuff, and they support families like single parents that support, children. So I don't like for those kind of people that are working hard and like they're trying to do what they can, like not a problem, dude, at all. I just think there needs to be more put in place to prevent fraud because there is a lot of it
I
going on.
Yeah, I think we've got I think we got bigger fish to fry and more expensive fish to fry in this country. We got our military budget is freaking out of control, and we're talking about pennies on the dollar for like the welfare
Exactly.
as compared
Right.
to military spending, corporate subsidies, just even the like corporate and you know rich people tax code.
Yeah, that's
Of the loopholes where they're able to not pay any taxes, like Amazon didn't pay any taxes.
oh what about all
I
the
mean,
billionaires like doubling their net worths and whatnot going on or whatever's happening. It's getting crazy out there. They're making tons of money. The rich are getting way richer right now.
right, and none of that's trickling down. But then here's the thing: is you got the people that would support that idea of, hey, these are job creators, so we got to give them money and they'll put it back in the community. They're fine with the money going to the billionaires and the giant corporations, but then they look at the poor people on welfare, people struggling on minimum wage, and they look down their nose at them and they think like that's a problem. But
Yeah.
that is it is a it is a problem with trickle down economics. That's really what it is. And here's see, now we're getting a little bit more political here, but I don't care. The show's about rabbit holes, and
Well,
that's my biggest, God, my biggest beef is everybody gets upset about talking about the $15 minimum wage, um and I and
You almost need it at this point. I mean,
we
it's
needed
not
it
unreasonable.
10 years ago. The problem is, this is the trickle down economics thing, is if all those corporations for all of those years just did the right thing and took care of their employees for the last since Reagan dropped their taxes. So that would have been like 1983 or 1984. He cut the corporate tax rate down, like way down, and then but those companies, all they're doing is buying back their own stocks. It's turned into this profit thing where they have to make profit, and they're making the profit at the expense of, the benefits and pay to their workers. So now you've got all these. If they just did the right thing, regardless of what the law concerning minimum wage was, then we wouldn't have to worry about a minimum wage if they just did the right thing. But they don't. They have consistently, historically, almost never done the right thing. The bigger the corporation, the less likely they are to do the right thing. Look at Walmart, the way they treat their employees and how that shit works. It is, and then we subsidize them by allowing them these loopholes to not pay their employees or not have full-time employees, so they don't have to offer them benefits. So almost everybody, it's something like 60% of the workforce at Walmart is on government assistance and on Medicaid. So we're paying for them. We're paying for Walmart to not provide health insurance and to not provide a living wage to their employees. We, the American taxpayers, are. And that kind of bullshit is that irks the hell out of me. $15 an hour minimum wage fixes a whole lot of that. That's my take. Sorry.
No, and I can agree. And definitely, speaking with your, politically speaking, I see the argument for the trickle down economics. I see the argument for welfare. The problem is that the ideal of the situation never ever translate to the reality of the situation. You've got what's his name, Jeff Bezos from Amazon. This whole pandemic thing goes on. Amazon's stock just skyrockets, and this guy dips out. He's like, you know what, dude, I have got more money than God right now, so see ya. And that's it. The guy's literally worth billions and billions of dollars, more money than any one person could ever spend in their lifetime or his grandchildren's lifetime. Is that making its way into the hands of the common man? No, it's not. You know what I mean?
No, and it can't. It can't. It just can't. I mean, take the richest person in the world. It's compared to an average middle class person. How many pairs of shoes does he own? Twice as many?
Exactly.
Twice as many? 3 times as many? 10,000 times as many? Probably not. He makes 10,000 times as much money as I do, or 20,000 times as much money as I do. He's not buying 20,000 times as much stuff. Because how much food is he buying? The same. I mean, pretty much.
Well, that's the elite right there. They just pass that all down to the next generation, and it just keeps going on.
Yeah, and then they would fight against the death tax, as they keep calling it. Like he just inherited $100 billion from a deceased parent, and we shouldn't be taxing that. Why the fuck not? What did you do?
Exactly.
That's an accident. Yeah. You happen to be born to an incredibly wealthy person, and now you get to be wealthy forever. And I don't know. But it goes the other way too, where there's the systemic poverty is a perpetuating cycle too.
Exactly. Yeah.
But if they don't have the opportunities to pass anything on, their kids are screwed basically at birth, because they happen to be born into a poor family, and meanwhile,
you got to figure out a way to pay for your schooling, pay for your college, to work your way through college, to basically put a roof over your head. And that's just it. I'm sorry, son, I don't have anything to give you the leg up. Now, Bill Gates's kid gonna have everything they ever need.
Right. And I hear he's getting a divorce.
Yeah, I hear that.
I've seen that too.
Interesting thing about Bill Gates too, and I just recently learned this. Do you know he's been buying up farmland all across America? Bill Gates right now is the largest landowner, at least in this country, if not in this world. He owns more acreage of land than anybody in this country. I mean,
I like that's
like
a
the
smart
biggest
move,
slumlord.
honestly.
Yeah, actually, that's a great move.
What's he doing? Is it for solar farms?
Yeah, they got a plan going. What's this about?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. I don't know. I'm sure there is a
Maybe he's
lot of,
gonna
and some
sell.
some of
Maybe
that
he's gonna
also, I
sell land when we
believe.
become
Bill
overpopulated.
Gates, I like Bill Gates's. He does seem to be a bit of a visionary, and I would believe, or at least hope to believe, that he's probably buying up farmland and making sure that it doesn't get overdeveloped. Because obviously, we're not going to survive as a society if we get rid of all of our agricultural land. You know what I mean? We can't grow the crops, we can't feed the people. So
Right.
I think that may be part of his thing, is just conserving the farmland so they don't turn into mini malls and everything else, parking lots.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. I hope it's that and not some, you know,
Nefarious plan where
like, hey, I'm
he's
gonna
gonna he's
sell.
gonna own the whole country and we have to rent from him.
No, he's just gonna sell it off to, foreign countries.
Yeah.
Um, I don't even know how that works. You know, if he had this big giant swath of land, could he sell it to China? And then yeah, I don't know how
That's a good point. I don't
country
know.
I think he
formation.
could sell it to citizens from China, but I don't think he could sell it to the actual, like, the Chinese government or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, but I bet Bill Gates knows if he
Yeah,
could.
I'm sure he does.
Probably. He probably does.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's a scary concept. And I know they've done some really good things, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, but I here's another thing about that kind of wealth. I remember he retired. What was it, 2012 or something? And he said that he's made it his life's goal to um, spend all the money that he had making the world a better place. That was his retirement plan. Was he was going to spend all that money to make the world a better place, and he's been spending a shitload of money on social programs and different projects and charities, and he's done some really wonderful things, but without earning a salary anywhere for anything, he still is richer than than
Yeah.
he was when he retired, because the money just keeps exponentially growing on investments and stuff like that, and like you can't even get rid of your money at that point. Like,
Right, exactly.
I mean, I wouldn't mind giving it a try, being so rich that you could live whatever kind of lifestyle you wanted and
I would sign up
never
for
have
that
to
experiment,
worry. Yeah.
if anybody needs a person for the experiment and they're doing something like that, you can put my name down. I don't care.
I'll keep you in mind. I'll put you on the list
All right, good job.
right below me. No, I don't know. I always said, like, I don't really want, I don't want the pressures of being rich, but I just want to have enough money that I don't have to worry about things, you know.
We were just talking about famous, like being famous, like how it's getting more because we have TikTok and all that. It's getting more prevalent that people are becoming famous quickly, or at least known, and just how it affects your relationships and stuff. It gets everything would get so complicated. I feel like you couldn't have any genuine relationships if you're actually famous. I feel like it would be difficult
Right. Well, that's
to to know people's intentions.
right. And being rich, you would never ever know if anybody really liked you or loved
Right.
you or cared about you. I mean, that would, especially like, this has had to be a big burden for the generational wealth people. Like, you didn't do shit other than get born, what, Donald Trump's kid, and now why are these people putting up with you? It's like Malfoy from the Harry Potter movies. Like, oh, these people were nice to him. Yeah, because your dad's rich and he's buying all
Yeah.
these rooms and shit for people, but you're an asshole. And yeah, I don't know. I definitely, if something happened and I did get rich, I would absolutely keep my wife around, because I met her when we were both poor.
Yeah.
I know why she's around. I don't.
Well, yeah, anybody you had before would be like trusted. You know what I mean? I imagine, but basically no new relationships almost. would be the same, I think.
Yeah, other
It
than
would be
with,
really lonely.
well, you'd have to, that's how the circles, end up forming of different rich people, why they flock together, because the only person you could trust to not be after your money is somebody that has so much money of their own, you know, you, you couldn't be hanging
Right? Your
out.
dating pool is rather limited though, like honestly.
Well, yeah, that would be,
Yeah, and Sierra and I were just talking about that aspect of this earlier too. The problem is, of course, is that so much of that population, if you are heavy drug users, just not really people that you should be associating with, because you just
Or
develop
their
this
like
whole
egos are so
codependent
inflated that their
relationship.
personality is trash. Like
The
Well,
old saying that I would never belong to a club that would have me as a member.
right. Well, like if you're a heroin junkie, then either you have to find a partner that is also a heroin junkie or just doesn't have a problem with that.
Right.
And I don't think there's a large market for non-heroin users, you know.
Looking for, yeah.
Oh, so you got a heroin problem. Why don't you come over?
well, you as a famous person, you could date somebody that isn't wealthy or known, but I feel like you would always have the upper hand, if you're comfortable with that. I don't think I would be comfortable with it, but
Well, not
just
and even
always
not even
having
making
that
it
on
comfortable.
them.
There's always that little demon lurking in your head, like, why is this individual even with me? Now you can get to the point where you don't care. You know what I mean? Yes, he wants me for my money, and I'm okay with that.
Well,
But
think about the
there's
partner.
always going
How
to be
are
that
they gonna?
question.
They're always gonna be like, "Why is this person with me?" You know what I mean?
Well, it's basically it's just another purchase.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
that point, it's like on a Lamborghini or something. So people are like, "Damn, that guy's awesome," and they're like, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to get a really hot woman." And then now, oh, look at that. Well, he must be something. Look at how hot his woman is.
Right, right. Less of a partner, more of a pet.
Yeah, it's a status symbol that you want to carry around.
That's the term trophy wife. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So
Oh, you won capitalism now.
Yeah.
Which whatever. I mean, good for her, I guess. Especially like in the Melinda Gates situation, if you can talk him into marriage without a prenup.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because yeah, now he's no longer one of the top 5 richest people in the world, but he's tied with Melinda.
he must have decided that was enough money, though. Like he's still insanely rich, so I think he was probably like, "That's cool."
Oh no, only $75 billion. How are we
Yeah.
going to make rent?
Like, what even happened? Did you read all about it? Were they like, was there some kind of cheating scandal or something?
No, I didn't read. I didn't read
They just
anything
hate each
about it
other.
other than
Everything I've read so far, and I admit that I really don't care, so I'm
right.
not getting beyond the headlines, but it seems to be very amicable. They're separating right now, but they're still
Yeah.
communicating for the sake of their kids and whatnot. It seems to be a very very
Then, well, cool.
unilateral decision.
He realizes when enough is enough. He's just not concerned about his money. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, I don't.
it's kind of a down to earth quality. I feel like to be able to get it to not stay in a relationship that you're not comfortable in or don't want to be in anymore, just to keep your money.
Right. It's just
I think a lot of people do that.
well, and just to keep up the appearances too, because you don't want to be all of the tabloids if you're
Yeah.
rich, famous, and because then it's going to turn out like, oh my God, she was cheating on him with what Kirk Hammett or something. Oh no.
Oh, well, the cheating stories always come out later anyway. So who knows? There could be one. Who
Yeah.
even knows? I doubt it. I feel like they've been married a long time and stuff and have like kids together. They seem like pretty established. They don't seem like. Who knows though?
Yeah, but all we know is what they want us to know.
Right. They, yeah, literally.
That's a weird. Yeah, we did.
The rich own the media there. I mean, that's just all there
Well,
is
we've
to that
gotten way
one.
off
Yeah,
a
we
subject
really
here. We need
Yeah, I don't
Oh.
think we even
have we
talked
even
about
discussed
we did a little
pandemics that
bit.
much?
In
Oh,
the
yeah.
beginning, I
I
feel
mean,
like
a little
yeah.
bit, but yeah, I don't know
Well,
what.
look, haven't we done enough of that this year, though? I mean, really.
Yeah, well,
There is that. Yeah.
as I said before, this is the show is a series of rabbit holes, and I don't care where it goes as long as it's fun and interesting. As long as it's entertaining, I don't care. If the topic is a
Well,
starter.
I wouldn't go that far. Call us entertaining now. Nice.
Yeah, we have to keep it at least PG-13. I think.
Mildly amusing.
Yeah.
I don't know. We were listening to another one of these on the way out to Kalamazoo this morning, and I heard some F-bombs.
Oh, I
I
swear.
don't know.
Time. I don't.
Yeah.
No, every single one of them. I'm on the explicit channel.
It's so weird because I hardly hear like swearing that often anymore.
Wow.
Well, you
feel
listen to a
like-
lot more mainstream, podcasts where you've got millions of subscribers, and somebody's going to complain to iTunes.
I just assumed there was some sort of like censorship or something going on.
No,
like there was
FCC
some
doesn't
kind of...
apply to the internet, man.
Oh, and
Wow.
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I have to mark them as explicit. That's all. So I just mark them as explicit.
Oh, we get the R rating.
Yeah. So well, and I have dropped F-bombs in this episode.
Yeah. No.
I'm
Wow, really? I didn't even notice. I mean, except for just now. That's curious.
okay. Well,
Oh, it's a comfortable conversation, I guess. That must be why.
oh, I guess. Yeah. I have a very soothing way of saying fuck. It's relaxing and calming.
Wow.
No, I got.
You just had to make it weird, man.
Well, yeah, you've been on the show before.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. And I keep coming back for more.
Right. If it's not weird, I'm not involved. No, all my friends are disgusting potty mouths, and so am I.
Oh, me too. Me too. Honestly.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, okay, good. Okay,
You're not offending anybody, Gary. Don't worry about it.
I didn't want to upset your Victorian sensibilities. Nobody fainting. Does anybody do that anymore? Fainting?
I'm sure somebody, yeah.
I know my mom is one of those people that she's very like anti-swearing at all. Like she'll have a psychotic episode if she hears the F word. So funny. So I say it around her as often as I can. That's not true. I try to respect her, but I try to respect
Are
her.
you going for that inheritance, man?
There isn't any. I'm not.
Good question, though. Yeah.
I'm not a product of generational wealth. We'll say that for sure. The house my dad grew up in had a dirt floor, and his dad used to shoot live rats in the house.
Nice.
Whoa.
Well, that's like entertainment and dinner right there.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's where the Black Plague almost made a resurgence right there in the Fender house.
Yeah. I think it's Mike Rowe always has a saying that, his dad would always tell him that you should chop your own wood. That way it warms you twice. See, it's the same concept.
Right. Yeah, there's no, I have no hope for actual wealth. I can be comfortable. And that's my, that's the peak for me is, hey, look, financial stability and relative comfort, all right. No, I always told my wife what I want to do is I want to just get to the point where I could frivolously spend $500 for no reason without having to check to see if that would be okay. You know what I mean?
Oh, I would still just feel bad, oh, like I did that irresponsibly or something. What I mean?
That's because you haven't got there yet.
Yeah, that must be.
I haven't got there yet either, but that's my dream. That's my goal. I like to be able to walk into, a guitar store and go like, ooh, that's nice. And then like $500, $600, $700 and just be able to make that kind of impulse purchase without calling the wife to say, hey, how's the bank account looking? Are we doing okay in savings? Can we can we afford this? And to have her then go like, you don't need another guitar. What's wrong with you?
Cale, you don't need another guitar, so I hope you're not.
I think
thinking too hard on
I
this.
think you do. I think you do, Cale. I got your back, brother.
Is he there? Is he dead?
Uh,
I'm
it
gonna go
looks
check
like
on him. He's in the
looks like
basement
he
and I'm
looks,
upstairs.
looks like he left. All right.
Oh
Well,
my God. Okay. We gotta go then.
oh, is he dead? Oh.
Hold on. Let me go look down there.
Okay.
He's probably doing laundry or something.
Are you still on?
Yeah.
I lost my feed. I'll be right there.
He said he lost his feed. Well, it's already like, what time is it? It's noon.
Yeah.
I feel a little talked out, you know. I gotta go have an emotional like wellness break. I'm gonna have to go do a salt bath or something.
Emotional support beer. It's afternoon, so you don't have a problem if you start drinking now.
Oh, that's true. It's totally acceptable at this point.
Right. At 11:59, you might have to start talking to somebody or going to a meetings. But
All right, here, I'll put Cale on. He's gonna say bye.
all right.
Nice meeting you.
You too. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I lost my feed completely. My computer just has no connection. I'm rebooting it, trying to get it back up.
Stupid computers. That's how it's Bill Gates. Heard us talking shit.
That's one of the nice things. Sierra's actually on her iPhone, so we may have lost internet here at the house, but her phone just switches over to mobile data at that point.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. It was a good conversation, if a bit off topic, but it was still great, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And we will definitely have you guys back. Like I say, we're probably doing hopefully I want to do another wrap up in a couple of weeks. So
Yeah.
3 episodes about horrifying whatever, and then one to kind of cleanse the palate.
Oh, that's a good formula. Yeah.
So yeah, I felt like that was pretty good with we're going to try to stick with that for a little while anyway. And until I switch, I don't know, I'll probably run out of, horrible end of the world scenarios to discuss. And then we'll have to switch to something else. But yeah, probably in a couple of weeks, if you guys are available, we'll have you back on.
If we are available, I'm certain that the answer is always going to be yes, Gary.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And you guys have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you for tuning in and listening to Gary's Roundtable. I greatly appreciate it. Had a good conversation with Cale and Cierra. It was a lot of fun, even though it was a lot of rabbit holes, a lot of off topic, but I don't care. That's what we do. We'll go where the conversation leads. It was a lot of fun, and I want to thank them for being my special guests, and I want to thank you for listening. If you want to be a guest on Gary's Roundtable, feel free to reach out to me. You can go to Gary's Roundtable on Facebook and leave me a message, and I would love to have you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.